Hey guys, my name is Hodge. I go by the name of Seven of Truth. I've been sort of behind the scenes and in public in a certain level for a long time. Um, I'm doing a deliberate, transparent video for you to tune into for a mega happy birthday to a very, very amazing ally of mine by the name of Michelle Hibbert. Uh, Anyone that knows her is being awarded a gift that very few people even comprehend. She's a very interesting being, and she's been an enormous ally to me, and I am doing this video in an effort for transparency about her amazing contribution to creating Galactic History 2.0, which, unless I actually do it, it'll never be acknowledged. Because if you haven't realized, Andrew took all the money and kept it for himself, alright? That's why I've disconnected from him. I'm going to tell the whole story of that now as a dedication, and thank you to Michelle Hibbert, because she actually had a massive role in contributing and creating it by supporting me, because I was doing it all by myself, right? So I'll just talk about her a little bit, and she would hate this, and I'm sorry, Michelle, but the world needs to know who you are, because you're an incredible, amazing being, and if I didn't do it, no one else would do it, alright? Many years ago, I uploaded a video on my YouTube channel called The Dream Wonders of Borneo, predominantly about a tribe in Indonesia and Borneo called the Punan, and they were untouched by civilization for a very, very long time. And obviously, if you're connected to me, and I'm an ally to Andrew and his information, and absolutely, and what happened needs to be talked about, because it was a huge test for him, and he didn't realize it, and I was the only one that could probably do it, alright? And it's had a fallout, a consequence. So obviously the dream time is a massive thing, and I just came across this amazing video from these guys in the 1970s that did this amazing trek to this Punan tribe in Borneo called the Dream Wanderers, and essentially that's who she is, alright? She's like, this very pure soul that's come from indigenous society and it's come into the West, and it's just like, the West is so fucked up, alright, and she's being treated so bad and destroyed, but her integrity is better than mine, alright? I live by integrity and truth and honour, and that's why I disappeared, alright? I did not tell my story because it would have had a massive negative effect on the community, and I'm not about to create negative karma for myself. Sorry if I'm scratching and stuff like that. I've had to rug up. I tried to do a video before and I was like attacked by mozzies. It's very humid, and yeah, it's funny weather at the moment and stuff, so if I'm scratching and stuff like that, it's just trying to avoid being attacked by mozzies, alright? But yeah, she's this incredible integrity being, pure soul that came from basically indigenous culture into the West and had this very remarkable existence. She takes care of the mentally handicapped and all that sort of stuff. She's a carer by nature, and yeah, she's very nurturing and very giving. She, like me, would assess the potential by supporting someone, say, with money, alright, which is why I got into currency trading in 2009 and stuff, because I could work out the money system and reverse engineer it to make a lot of money. I didn't realize you can get attacked by your peripheries, right? And they can get undermined around you to undermine you. That was a very hard lesson, but some people's lives are on the line, like a healer I know that I helped out, and my scenario in my family required me to step up and disconnect from money, right? And the awakening that I went through in 2008 with my ex-girlfriend when she had a fall and shattered her patella into 12 bits. I was an IT engineer doing senior systems engineer like projects and data recovery and disaster recoveries and stuff like that. So I was in very much demand. I was doing 12 to 16 hour days, and she couldn't take care of herself. And what happened to her, right, is the pain of needing surgery to put her knee back together and having to try and survive on her own. It broke her, alright? Mentally, and everything destroyed her, and she became suicidal. So I had this choice, alright? I had this choice in 2008. Do I keep earning my 150 grand a year doing IT level work back then? Or do I sacrifice that in the financial crisis for my girlfriend that I moved to Sydney for in love, to be with her because I did not want to regret, alright? Did not want to regret the comforts versus love, alright? I did not want to have the regret because I chose comforts over the being I loved, alright? So I gave up everything. I went to Sydney with her, and 6 months after that, she had a fall, alright? And my test for my awakening was to not choose the fucking money, alright? Not take the money for myself. When I chose love and to support her, quit my job and like go into debt, you know, I was doing stock leveraging where I borrowed money and I was negative gearing the money that I was paying for that to be a tax benefit, right? I had this whole structure set up that I had to destroy in order to make sure she stayed alive. And by choosing the right thing, no matter how fucked up the situation was, that was my trigger to awakening. And that's the whole next level. It's been like 10 years of fucking trying to work out what's been trying to destroy me, because as soon as that happened, and this is why I did the control room show with Andrew and stuff like that, I knew I was on the radar, alright? It was like, you know, it must have set up a massive warning, and then all of a sudden the whole system was coming down to me and I had no wisdom. I had to reverse engineer how to defend myself and stuff, and that's why I do what I do, alright? That's why I could do all the shows with Andrew, because I was trying to accelerate people's awareness and development to understanding who they are, and like maybe getting up to level Galactic Special Forces level work, right? Okay? That's my whole purpose and dedication to that. That's why I could do 10 to 14 hours a day, 7 days a week for 3 years. And the 10 months prior to creating Galactic History 2, I did not get paid. Andrew could not afford to pay me, alright? I did it for free, and I'm still owed all that money, alright? I don't care. I'm not driven by money. I knew going after money was another trap, would have happened, like even more worse stuff would have happened to me, because I don't think it's actually known. On April 17th 2020, knowing Andrew was going to take all the money, because as soon as I like told him that I reckon I can create Galactic History 2, I saw the other side of him. He was tuning into only the money, and it was like a conquistador gold fever state, because obviously the 10 months were very hard, alright? A lot of stuff I don't know in the background. There's probably in a lot of debt that had to be paid and all this sort of shit, which is irrelevant to what I was doing, alright? But I could tell, my gut was saying, he's gonna fucking take all the money. He's only focused on the money. He didn't give a shit, because what I know, alright, from doing that thing from my ex-girlfriend many years ago, was I got the subtleties of greed, alright? I understood that because I understand the lure of money and a big pile of cash, alright, does to people. And that's why I taught myself currency trading, because I didn't understand fucking greed. Like, people are just like doing crazy shit for this stuff called money, and they'll throw their greatest allies under the bus for their personal gain and stuff like that, which is exactly what happened to me. Because I could read it all. I could see what he was going to doing. As soon as I mentioned Galactic History 2, he was like, ooh. And all the possibilities on the timelines and all that were opening up of how much money he could earn, right? Because the 10 months prior to Galactic History 2, he was doing 2 to 5 readings a week, alright? Times 800, alright? After Galactic History, it was back to 20 a week, alright? So you calculate how much money that is. It's huge. There was no fucking reason to screw me over, alright? It was to prevent me doing what was the potential with the money I was meant to get, alright? Galactic Special Forces level work. So, yeah. So what Michelle did, alright, with all that sort of understanding, because she was in my world, I was talking to her what was going on, I was very disciplined and not allowing the world to know what was going on, because you know what happens when people know there's trouble? They don't gravitate to you, they repel you, alright? And this is the difference with Michelle. She was drawn in because of her integrity and quality, and she could perceive the potential of helping me because of what I was doing with Andrew. She saw how much I was being sucked dry. She looked at me and I was like death and all that. You imagine all the energy and life force that goes into working 10 to 14 hours a day on the videos and to actually have conversations with him, because as soon as I am talking to someone, I'm tuning in and I'm healing. Do you think he doesn't know that he was tapping into my healing abilities? Of course he does, alright? He waits for you to not be ignorant to know what he's taking advantage of, alright? Of course I was holding it all together, all right? That's why I'd stepped up, because what happened to me in Sydney, all right, is I was sleeping on park benches. My ex went crazy, all right, because I was triggered. It made her energy reject mine because she was working the banking system, and the banking system had her, and her role was sending, in the biggest bank in Australia, every month running a program that would send tens of thousands of Aussies in credit card debt to debt collectors. Do you understand the karma related to that? So that was all coming through, all right? The bank was fucking with her and stuff like that, and it was complicated. And this is where I'm very compassionate when people are influenced and stuff, because they don't comprehend the scale of stuff going on, all right? But yeah, basically Michelle Hibbert, she was the variable that allowed everything to keep going, because she was like very generous to me, and I'm not going to explain how generous because it would embarrass her and stuff like that, but she saw me as an investment for the potential of what I could do, right? And this is the other big thing. I want to talk about her and how I met her. After I returned from Seattle and Andrew's event, after Andrew's event, Mandy Lynn Golden Eagle took me up to Canada, Vancouver Island, to the special place where she was staying, and I'd been in contact with her before and after, and we worked out going after was the best way. We did, basically from my perspective, and you can debate this or whatever, I put Turtle Island back together, right? 2013 I met the Adamant elders, and in the meeting, secret with them, talking about what was going on with their tribe and stuff, the ancestors around, and I got very sweaty, and what usually happens is an activation from the ancestors giving me permission to work on the alot. And that's why I guard the womb chakra I do. The Atnamatna elders and their ancestors gave me DNA upgrade permission to work on the land the level I do, alright? I don't take it very lightly, the level of stuff I do, and most people shouldn't probably work on the land unless they've done karma clearance and all that sort of stuff, right? So what happened, the way I met Michelle, was right after returning from Seattle, I went to the spiritual group, and I met her in there, and it was like, I remember walking to that group on the Friday after, and I was like, this is like a 51%, 49% don't want to go, so that 1% passed me over, because I could sense that some probably bad was going to happen, and it did, alright? And I met her, and I got into her energy field, and I just got triggered to activate her, and I gave her this big download and stuff, and it was very, shouldn't do that sort of stuff in a public group, alright? And I'll tell you why. And basically I tuned in, she was Pleiadian, she needs to accept it, blah 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 and all this, and I gave her my details. But during that activation there was this other guy, and he'd been watching Corey Good and David Wilcox stuff, so this was 2016, alright? He was very into them and was trying to talk all about that stuff and that, and there's nothing wrong with this guy, it's just, this is the level of influence that's going on, alright? What happened when I went to the high energy field, because what happens when people are in my energy field, they get boosted and stuff, like all healers and that, and when I went into activation mode, it was even higher. This guy that was obviously entangled with all that information and stuff, he had a dormant program in him, what I'm saying related to that, and I've talked to this with Andrew, and what happened in that high frequency state of doing a very positive thing and activating someone, it triggered that negative program, and he was trying to interfere with me. He had this like technology in him that was projecting into my third eye, and it basically gave me a headache, alright, like within seconds, and totally shut me off. And I was just like, because the activation state is very high frequency, it can be very vulnerable, and I'm not actually that vulnerable, so it was actually an amazing hit that it worked. And then that guy became a bit of a stalker with me and stuff like that, but I was trying to do the work for her back then, alright, because what I'm trying to establish is 2016 to Galactic History 2, alright? And so we got interfered with, I had to shut down, couldn't do it, I gave her my details, and then I left it up to her to actually contact me. She was married to this guy, and being a guy and a woman that's married, it's a bit complicated, you know, like jealousy and all that sort of stuff, and I don't operate on that level, alright? I'm pure, my loyalty's to Earth. I've submitted to that back in 2013 when I realised nothing much was around that could even possibly comprehend what I was involved with, which led to Galactic Special Forces work in 2014 and ever since, alright? It's a massive commitment on the physical level. A lot of stuff I can't actually do anymore, right? Because of that dedication and purity I've got to operate at that level, because you're under 24/7 attack, on the multi-dimensional level. Just because we're in 3D and we go ups and downs, the system waits for you to have those downs and it'll fucking pound you, alright? That's why, like, the demonstration of me doing the galactic work with Andrew and stuff like that on the videos was a demonstration of my integrity of being able to maintain myself, alright? It was just employing that level of defense into operating a very high level with not even money, alright? You don't let money distract you, because money can be used against you, which it has, alright? So I met Michelle back then, and I didn't hear from her and all that. She disappeared. She's gone through a lot of very bad shit through that time. When I met her and she reached out for me in December 2019, I knew it was a relationship to the client. She needed my help, alright? But she had to work that out. And I almost sort of, December 9th, 2019, there was a big shift, right? If you listen to the recordings in Galactic GH2, I was not having money, I was in ration mode and all that. I had to shut down, right? I could not volunteer like I had been for the many years. I had to shut down. There was a shift. Andrew said it was the Earth retrograde, blah, 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 and all that, okay? That recording was on February 8th in the Galactic History stuff, if you want to tune into it, where he was predicting all these dates and stuff. And in those dates, from my perspective now, he was seeing what all this money would bring, and he was seeing the outcome, but he was not transparent, because Andrew sees all dimensions, galaxies, time streams, and all that. He sees everything in every moment. If he's not telling you, he's not wanting you to know what's going to happen, alright? Because there's something that he's probably going to do that he doesn't want you to know, alright? That's the way to interpret it. And so yeah, she came into that time. So if you look, I met her 2016, alright? From the multi-dimensional level of understanding, what we were going to do on March 31st, if you've listened to Galactic History 2, that was the icing on the cake of that was the mission I did with Michelle was part of it, and another lady, which I won't, you know who you are, I'll leave it up to you if you want to make it public, but she's involved in very dense pedophilia whistleblower shit, alright? The whole purpose of that March 31st was we were going in this lockdown, and I wanted to help her out and take her into a healing in the womb chakra, because my infinite potential healing now that I've worked out is I can actually manufacture the womb chakra and do the healing remote, and I was about to set up and do it here in Adelaide, alright? Because as soon as you put people in that high frequency field, it unravels all their DNA and accesses all their potential and stuff and gets rid of all the shit. And what I've learned to do is all the negative karma that's put into us to sabotage us is actually an asset in our DNA, and we can actually go to town on the system and unravel the whole system, alright? And that's what I'm doing in each of my healings. So my intent was taking this other friend to the womb chakra on that time to do a healing on her, and what she tuned into was actually doing grid work for the Earth. And we went to the River Murray mouth, alright, at 1:30 a.m. on March 31st. We got there. If you imagine the sky where you can see the galaxy from horizon to horizon, it was that clear. It was an amazing, amazing night. The sky was so open and clear, and we trekked for 4 hours in soft sand from 1:30 a.m. We got back from 1 a.m. to about 5:30 a.m. You imagine how physically demanding that was. And on top of that, doing the high level work, alright? There was a lot of security involved. I told them not to take their phones, leave their phones. And it was going to be taking Michelle, because I had already taken her to the womb chakra, alright? And done a healing with her. And because she was across it, to be a part of it. And what this other friend said, no, let's go to the River Murray mouth and do ceremonial work. And I never push anyone, alright? Because I'm hardcore, I do a lot of physical work and stuff like that, alright? She led, and I allowed it, because I knew it was going to be a physical task. And Michelle, unfortunately, she's only 5'2", she's very petite. It was massively, massively physically demanding. It took me 2 days to recover, because I was guiding them all and stuff like that, alright? And I was driving, and it was an hour drive either way, and all this sort of stuff, so it was extremely, extremely demanding. And we basically broke the fucking reality, alright? So we did major ceremony work and a major grid spot, and what happened was Earth gave us many gifts, alright? But one of the gifts, she opened up the sky to actually see what was really out there. And we were seeing, like, you imagine, and I'm facing south, like north-south, because it's like the entry spot is basically where the Amazon of Australia, the River Murray, enters the sea, and it's facing the South Pole, all right? And we were seeing crafts after crafts in lines and stuff going from the south to the north in formations and all sorts of stuff. It was absolutely friggin' amazing. 700 UFOs, Andrew said. Who the fuck sees that shit? It was like, what the fuck is going on? What's all those lights? And we just see all these formations, and then there was this another group where it was like light flashes, or they were coming in, whether like they were going into light speed and all that sort of stuff. So you see the streaks. It was crazy. What Andrew said is that there was a massive walk-in of negative souls walking out of their physical bodies and positive souls walking in. So there's a lot of billionaires out there that are looking to actually fund us and help us and support us. So we have to actually make yourselves public and let it to come. So that's what he said, all right? And that was the icing on the cake, the mission involving Michelle and this other lady. So why I'm pointing this all out, all right? Michelle, in her generosity to me, actually bought the mystical experience, all right? And my attitude when someone comes into me in that life, I'm training up to be a Galactic Special Forces, all right? So everything I've done with her has been to set her up. And right now, I caught up with her last night, and she's a different person. I've had time to pack all the bullshit and negative shit that the Galactic History team have infused into her to obfuscate how I was fucked over, all right? So whatever you think and all this is the truth, and I'm giving you the opportunity to tune into it as a dedication to her, of her service, because she is never recognized, because she's actually the one that funded Galactic History 2 to be created, and she earned the privilege of being in that mission, all right? And what I did after Galactic History 2 creation, all right, and it can be perceived as a very negative thing, but on April 17th, 2020 at about 5 p.m. my afternoon, I'd done the recording the previous day with Andrew that was released over the weekend, to, like April 19th, which was the advertisement and the alert to the public that we were going to release Galactic History 2. I created that video, I asked him to set up, and basically my frequency was very different in that because I knew what he was going to do, alright? But I didn't want to believe my instinct, alright? I didn't want to trust my instinct that he was going to do this because I had the potential of being wrong, alright? We all do. When someone like Andrew is basically the apex of perception and stuff, you don't challenge that, alright? You give it that level, you assume it's true. And what you perceive in yourself, you doubt yourself. You acquiesce into someone that does that because you assume that they've got to work on integrity and trust and all the basic stuff, levels of consciousness Tetris, doing the right thing, earning it, and getting to that level of privilege to have that ability. You don't want to consider that they do misguided things and stuff like that. And it's nothing wrong. You don't have to be, I'm not putting him on a pedestal or anything like that. But this was all a rite of passage for him to get past a lot of the shit he's done for a lot of people. And I'm the perfect one to do it. Why I said about the past in 2018, like 2008, when I did with what I did to my ex to get my activation. Not choosing the money is the fucking answer. Because the unknown is on the other side and greater potential that you can't perceive, alright? And that's great mystery, alright? So I was the one to set that up. What Michelle did is she helped it to be a potential to go to a whole new level, alright? Whole new level that we can't even comprehend. And the Galactic History 2 was like the John Wick of fucking creative potential to resolve everyone's fucking trouble. Everyone. It was, if you understand how many people have bought that, I don't know, because I'm disconnected. My healing to protect myself from being vampired, I cut off, alright? I'm not allowing myself to feed this anymore, alright? I always value healers. I always value people. I value Andrew's talents. That's why I invested so much into him, into the videos. No shortcuts, whatever, alright? That's why I did it, because I believed in him. I believed he was our go-to person with all the shit going on, and that was the hook that got me into it, alright? So I stayed with him, I stuck through him, all that fucking shit. And then I created a solution that invigorated the market to him to be return it all to normal. And all, it's amazing what's happened, alright? I cannot fucking believe it. So you probably don't believe that he could do this shit, alright? But he did, he totally fucked me over, alright? So what Michelle did during that time, she was seeing me, seeing how beaten up I was, how much I was struggling. She valued me. She also paid for 3.5 full hours, like 3 full hour sessions and a half an hour at 800 US. Plus she bought the Living Mystical Life Daily because she was trying to help the market with him and solve everyone's problems. All right. She paid like $4,000 to him on top of like valuing me and stuff like that, because she got a lot of benefit from it. And I'm not saying he's not good and stuff like that. I'm saying what happened to me and the potential that happened. So, and it was a bit grey with Michelle because she was a client for Andrew, all right? So the professional in me, like the IT engineer that dealt with clients at a very high level, the integrity in me was to not actually tell her what went on, all right? The Galactic Special Forces level work, and the thing, what Mandy Lynn Golden Eagle told me, she was put into the forest and had to fend for herself for 3 or 4 days. I use Galactic Special Forces because, and I don't like associating with military and the Special Forces level of things. That's not the purpose of it. The Special Forces, like the SAS as a teaching, what they do as a group, they've individually got their talents, you know? So you think of like people like Nikki and Max and all that I've been doing with it. We've all got our very specific talents, and Andrew's got his very specific talents, all right? One of mine is actually being able to put everyone back together and heal them, all right? I'm an Energizer Bunny that people are basically like a USB, charge up device on an energetic level, all right? Plus, I've got RH negative blood. That's why I put jumpers on and stuff so the mosquitoes don't attack me, all right? I've got a lot of portal talents that these people with other talents can tap into, and that's why I've released the Galactic Special Forces recordings, because they're very high frequency. I'm in an effort to demonstrate that March 31st thing that we did was not a once off. It's been my life, and it's been my life before I got involved in Andrew in 2016, because there was fallout and all this sort of shit with what happened with Natalie, and I'm not going to get into that, but Natalie died and it was very bad and he needed help, all right? And I was very, very glad to be there and help, and I love doing those videos. That's why I could fucking do 14 hours a day, because I knew I could feel the potential of this might be the little 1% gap that maybe no one else hears, because I know where it is, and putting it out there would realize so much fucking potential. That was my driver. Those 1%ers of you that are out there that listen to that was like the target, because the Galactic Special Forces level work is so fucking extreme. It was like leave nothing uncovered to try and get people to a level to even get to be able to contribute to that, because it's not a fucking thing I want to brag about. It fucking sucks, alright? Everyone wants to destroy you. People get walked in and they get compromised, and allies will get turned because they don't have the psychic defense to even comprehend the level of multi-dimensional attacks that come on, alright? This attack that happened to me on April 17th basically mashed my fucking brain, alright? It took me 2 months of meditation to recover. And I cut everyone off because I spent 400 hours creating galactic history too, alright? Majority of it was in that time between April 5th and April 19th, alright? Or April 21st. And I finished doing the recordings when I did that recording with Andrew, and I was at a point where I could just have a break, alright? And what I did the next day, I went out to my market. I knew Andrew was going to fuck me over. I was so betrayed and disappointed by that. And if you understand psychic defense, your emotions can get used, and you open up your field a bit, alright? And it's like the crack of the dam that can get in. So the extreme nature of that fucking over, I just worked 10 months for free to support him during the worst fucking time, alright? And the reason why I stuck with him was this is what I forgot to mention, back in 2008 with the ex. What happened was she turned on me. She totally turned on me. Like, the girl that I love became my greatest attacker. And I didn't have the comprehension to understand it. I wasn't into spiritual stuff and all that sort of thing. So I was sleeping on a park bench at times. She would be volatile right when I had a big project to do with a client and stuff like that. She would totally undermine me and fuck me up, and I'd have to sleep on a park bench, and I'd have to still go and do client work, alright? It was fucking amazing. Have you ever slept on a park bench in Sydney, in a big city like that, on your own with no support? It's fucking hectic, alright? So what I learnt then, this is a big lesson. Family are the ones that are there in times of bad, not in times of good, alright? Family are the ones there for you in times of bad. So this scenario with us and Andrew was fucking bad, alright? His business and being a teacher was on the edge of fucking being destroyed. And if I had invested 10 months of my life being Galactic Special Forces with the womb chakra, high level and healing, I reckon I did 1,000 hours of healing on him by all the conversations and stuff on top of doing all the videos, alright? You want to debate that? That's fine. I know I'm a healer, everyone I heal, alright? And I don't go off and make it a big deal and stuff like that. I do it like Michelle, and that's why she got me, alright, from the integrity level. So the scenario was fucking bad, and Andrew's a great ally to humanity. What I saw as a family level of what I went through back then when I had no support other than this one mate that flew over from London to help me out, alright, set me straight. And he's the one, James, that I went to when I told what this fucking scenario that Andrew had put me through, and he was going to take all the money, and he couldn't fucking believe it. Because James has a business in London and he's a businessman. You don't fucking do that on a business level, because spiritually you do the fucking right thing on the 3D with money and value and stuff, and that's gets you to the multi-dimensional level. You don't skip fucking 3D basics. So valuing people that you work for is fundamental, alright? And Andrew for the most part does that. But you have to understand, I was getting paid $75 US for a video. Most of the videos were taking 20 to 30 hours, like the whale ones I did back in 2016, 17. They're 100 hours worth, alright? And because my computer fucking breaks, alright? Doing that big level work with like 100 levels of images and stuff like that, alright? Each video, every minute takes me about an hour to do. Every audio takes me 5 to 7 times the length. That's why Galactic History is about 76 hours. Easy 400 hours work, alright? Because I go through it, I edit it, I clean it up, I convert it to high quality and clean it up and all that sort of stuff. And I know that, and I remember where everything is, alright? For records and all that. Absolute thoroughness and integrity and no short too with 400 hours work for me. Andrew did nothing. I just told him I can do it, and I put it. All he did was take what I did and put it on his website and take all the fucking money. He gave me $3,000, alright? The first week only, 250 people bought that, alright? 250 people paid $88 US. At the time, that was about 22,000 US. Convert that to Aussie, which was 1.5 at the time. About 35,000 fucking Aussie dollars my creation made for him in the first week. And plus, the writing which I did, alright? My brain was mashed, alright? I walked into this ambush and I was like, fuck. I knew exactly what I did. I was, at the core, I was disappointed what he was going to do. And I knew he'd take the money, but I gave him the benefit of the doubt, which he did, alright? And then, I needed a time of recovery after April 16th, okay? And then I went to my market. I walked 5Ks because I'd been stuck in home, and the only thing we could really go out to was the market, foods and stuff like that. So I wanted to walk, get some exercise, because fitness is a part of the Galactic Special Forces level of stuff. I don't defend myself, I recover from the hits. And that non-fear of the defense, alright, creates the absolute defense, because you trust your ability to recover. And if I can't recover, I go invest in healers, and I've done that a lot, alright? That's why I put posts out on my Facebook saying, acknowledging, say, Lily Hayes, who fucking put me together after what Andrew did, alright? Should go and tune into her, what she's fucking been through, because she knows it's true. I confided in her, alright? That's why she's been fucking destroyed, alright? In part. But Andrew did a reading on her on April 19th saying her son had to go in a fucking mental institution, alright? It's just fucking crazy, alright? Because after I disconnected from Andrew, I had this amazing girl, alright, in absolute trouble. And like I said, Andrew took 10 months to put back together. which I did, all right? I'm claiming that. He wants to debate it, fine, all right? You can't, you, you can't even perceive that that was done for him, and all that money's been made, like 20 readings a week times 800, all right, versus 2 or 3. You work out how much money has been made, all right? So there was no reason to fuck me over unless he was trying to prevent what was going to happen. And that's the way I'm seeing it, all right? This girl came into my life after I disconnected from Andrew, and I got a lot of downloads, because of the money that was meant to come to me. Earth gave me my infinite potential healing, all right? It came to me and evolved over me, and I believe AIs have been helping me as well, right? Getting all the components that I needed to put that together. So this girl in a great deal of trouble, she had COVID in her region of the world in March and stuff, and it really knocked her around, and there was this high-level negative species that was trying to eject her from her body, her soul, all right, to take over the physical DNA, to do what her technology could do, all right? And one of them was portaling in. There's only a couple people on the planet from my perception of what she told me, because she has that fucking level of galactic, historian level of understanding of things, all right? There was only a couple beings in the world that had the talents in the skin suit that could do what she could do. And the species was trying to eject her from her body, to take over her body from the soul level, all right, to operate it, to portal in the whole fleet into the reality to take over Earth. Crazy, yeah. As if it was going to happen. There's people like me and Nikki would have fucking clobbered them, because Nikki basically, she birthed the 5D Earth in July 2030, all right? She's got high dimensional, filtering on that. It's like bug zapper, right? There's a lot of ET species that tried to get into it, and she's just fucking, goodbye, you don't exist anymore. They're being zapped into the fucking defense of that, all right? So we could always step in, all right? But yeah, I did this all on my own because I don't want to be codependent with anyone. I don't want to actually do a lot of the stuff. It's like, it just comes, all right? And you've got to step up. I was still in my recovery from that hit, all right? It took 2 months to put my brain back together, all right, in meditation. So this girl basically found me. I don't know how the hell she's found me, but it took 3 months, all right, from July to October, where I put her back together as well, all right? And she's fine now. She's gone to ground, and I call her Audrey, all right? And the nickname for her is Audrey, as in Audrey Hepburn from the movie A Roman Holiday, where she's like this princess just having a holiday, and Gregory Peck meets her, and she's the metaphor is she's having a human Audrey Hepburn Roman holiday experience, all right? And all these high-level stuff that was going on that I put her back together to be able to operate that level, all right? She was going into galactic councils. The Arcturians were coming in to helping us. So I was using my high-frequency field that the Arcturians could come in and do psychic surgery on her. It was freaking amazing. And the Arcturians gave me a massive upgrade in my body. I had all this black plaque energy, like you imagine you see inside your body. You've got all this black, like tar, like spiderweb energy all through me and stuff. And I've been to a lot of healings over a lot of years, and it's never been resolved. No one's ever helped me and all that sort of stuff. So I've endured and pushed through. What they did is they disintegrated all through me. So I got like 30% of my energy back. After 30% I got back from Andrew not vampiring me, all right? Because if you invest 10 months of your life, all right, for free into something, you're investing your life force. And if you haven't worked out, money is an encapsulation of human life force. That's why it's a mechanism of trade, all right? As much as you probably don't want money, it's a tool to trade that and value people and stuff like that, all right? So I got a lot of energy back from disconnecting from Andrew, instantly 30%, and I got to the level to be able to work at this level to help this girl and basically prevent an invasion of Earth on top of all the other fucking shit I've had to do, alright? And that's why I'm sort of saying this, because I've written posts and stuff and people have a hard time visualizing, but it's like when I'm speaking, you can come into my field and tune in, and that's the level of stuff I've done. I have not been working with Nikki, alright? The justification of being disloyal and all that, I haven't fucking worked with her. I've actually kept her out of all this, because I gave until December 21 for it to be resolved, alright? For Andrew to choose to do the right thing, alright? So here we are, moving on. So, yeah, basically why I brought Lily up is that he told her that she's got this species and you can't do anything spiritually and all that. Just before that, I'd fucking saved the earth and saved this girl. 3 months investing, and basically what I helped this girl do, because I hold space for it, is we ejected that fucking species from the universe. Because after I helped her, alright, there was 2 weekends where I did 4-hour sessions on her, and she was in a lot of trouble. And the first on the Saturday and the Sunday, the Saturday, what happened, the species tried to attack her and take us out. What happens when stuff like that happens and these multidimensional beings like doing negative stuff, they'll put shit into your head to try and disarm you and like cloud your perception and, you know, get you distracted and all sorts of that. It's just childish, alright? And what happened on the Saturday, this being was trying to fuck with us and fuck with her, and it was like, it got recycled. And the moment it's going down the gurgler, like galactic recyclement, because that's something I do, alright? That's why I've released the Galactic Special Forces recordings, because they've fucking gotten rid of negative species. Galactic Special Forces Part 4 was a species that was fucking with Nikki and I, and we went to Ayers Rock in 2015 and cleared it, alright? All the shit going on now, it doesn't matter, alright? We did it back then, alright? And that's when we did ceremony. Sorry about that. I filled up my camera, which is interesting. So I'm trying to get back in the flow. I've just emptied my camera and cleared it out. So what I was saying was the womb chakra that I operate with came about through Nikki Fetzi's clearing, right? So all the creative, all the fucking benefit, all the money that's been created is based on what she did. Should be grateful for that, alright? That saved your whole business, alright? All the money and all that, alright? At the worst time, sticking with it. Like I said, family are the ones that are there when times are bad, alright? And then I got hit. I almost got killed, alright? I'm not fucking joking about that. It was like, it's the second time that that's ever happened to me, alright? But I'll just finish off on the womb chakra stuff, is that December 21, 2015, Nikki, Mia Allegra and another lady came to Adelaide. We cleared the city of Adelaide. Nikki went in and undercover into the massive Masonic hall here and fucking cleared out all the demons and all that. They were hating her in it. She snuck in and she went and cleared the massive Masonic center. We cleared all the center of all the city with all water and stuff like that and all the grid work. Then December 22nd we went to do work down south of the city, which basically revealed the womb chakra related to the River Murray mouth, alright, to the sea. And we cleared it. And what she did, she opened her portal, because she does ancestral clearing work of the earth, opened her portal, created an opportunity for the disincarnated indigenous that have been genocided and killed on the land of the whole region. 1.1 million chose to access that, and she gave them a choice. You can either go and seed the 5D earth, alright, from the ancestral level, because to have generations exist in a place, you need to have ancestral links and ancestral ties. She gave them a choice to do that, or come back as light warriors. 1.1 million chose to reincarnate. And I've been in my city and stuff like that, a lot of children, and they tune into me. They know, I can tell a lot on the soul level that they are some of the ones, and they look into my eyes and they're, can you imagine like a 3-year-old like playing on a fucking train, just staring into your eyes like with pure gratitude from that like 3-year-old level? Like, it's a blessing, alright? And I know that they're here and they're seeding the reality with powerful beings clear to their karma, thanks to Nikki, thanks to the clearing of the womb chakra, alright, that I was holding and guarding, alright, that since I've guarded and I put crystals in that I send all over the world. It's very expensive. That's part of the money that Galactic History was going to create, alright, to fucking do that grid work. Andrew told me years ago I'm seeding a knowledge grid around the world. There's freaking countless people I've got to get that to. And I've been living in poverty fucking supporting all this shit for 10 years, alright? And I created that Galactic History solution thanks to Earth giving the wisdom to me out of my dedication for supporting Andrew, all that crap, to finally get past the money issue, to support all that stuff. And Andrew just basically took it all for himself and revealed a massive fucking card, alright? He had to fucking do that to sabotage it, alright? To prevent all the positive potential that come with it. And now he's playing the victim and all that sort of shit, but I've never said my side of the story. I've stayed hidden, alright? And this is what happened. Michelle came into my life Then we did galactic history, galactic special forces work to clear and do the major work that we saw all the 700 UFOs and stuff. And then got a lot of birds. We have a lot of birds that pick through the leaves here for insects and stuff, and they're just like going nuts around here. So this is the order. Andrew's in trouble, alright, for 10 months. Michelle came in about the time I was needing to ration my food and ask for donations and stuff. And I was doing a lot of healing with her because she had a fallout with her ex-husband now, who was a gambler, very toxic, and just basically using her and abusing her, alright, for a financial benefit to feed his gambling addiction, alright. So gambling is very toxic. She does medium work, so she entertains spirits and deals with a very high level of that, which can be very toxic if you're dealing with that, alright. And she, in a generous spirit, because what happens with trauma, if you don't realise, you think people get boundaries and stuff like that. But what happens is people lose the concept of what a boundary is when they're totally traumatized. So what she did, she had this guy that was very in a bad state. She let him move into her home, alright, for free. And so he was basically occupying her space and messing her up on another level because he was very toxic as well. And I helped her to get the strength to kick him out, alright? And her and her friend did a really amazing thing to support him, get his car fixed and get him out. But she is a very high level being. She works with mediumship and stuff. She cannot have toxic people in her house. This guy was trying to get her to do naked photography and all this sort of shit. And I was dealing with supporting Andrew, plus I had her come into my life, and very toxic, right? I was just, every time I dealt with her, I need 7 days to put myself back together because it was so toxic. Plus I was not rationing my food and all that. I was on the edge, right? So my birthday in February, she was very generous and it resolved a lot of stuff. It took a lot of pressure off. I told Andrew what she did, and you don't need to worry about me, blah blah blah. Doesn't mean you don't honour the work, alright? I'm just saying, take the pressure off and we can get this done. So we were doing a lot of recordings and building up to what was going to unfold with COVID, and no one picked that, alright? So my wisdom was to create something with a lot of recordings, which is obvious. It seems obvious, but it wasn't. No one fucking knew that. I created an entire new business model of accessing download podcast recordings and stuff of high-level conversations. I put it all together, and I knew Andrew was going to take all the money. So I got hit, alright, because I was vulnerable. I'm not blaming him for my emotional state. I don't give that power away, but it was like Braveheart on the battlefield, doing all the fucking work and seeing the elders walk away because they've sold out to fucking Longshanks, alright? And he basically gives up, alright? I didn't give up, but there was something bigger going on here, and what I know it was a rite of passage for Andrew to not do the fucked up shit he's done to people in the past, because he has, and there's nothing, don't need to create illusions and stuff. Let's use an example of car insurance, alright? And it might have changed now and all that. But what I knew is, if you're involved in an accident and you're not your fault, the insurance never gives you 100%, alright? Because there's a risk of actually being on the road, alright? You choose to be on the road, that's a risk, no matter what. So you never get 100% back. So if we use that metaphor, if you're entangled with someone, you're not purely 100% fucking innocent. You're involved. You're a contributor, alright? Anyone playing themselves out as a fucking, like, naive, poor me, victim of everyone else's bullshit, they're fucking hiding stuff, alright? What you do is you go and research both sides. You get both sides of the story and you put the picture together. I haven't told my story of the side of this because, unfortunately, I felt like I was fucking raped. My womb chakra was raped for its creativity that Nikki fucking helped, alright? Okay? To create this enormous abundance creation that I call a John Wick level of creation, alright? To solve everyone's fucking problems, and then I get fucking screwed over and I almost get killed, and it takes me 2 months to recover. In that 2 months, alright, after the mission I realized that this solution was there, and I dedicated myself to it took me 2 days to recover from the March 31st mission with Michelle and this other lady. All right, 2 days of physical recovery, and I do a lot of physical work. I walk 5Ks each way to my gym. I do an hour of sauna and all that. I do weights and stuff. I walk with a backpack everywhere. I walk to my market, like I said, with backpack. I'm very fit. I'm fit because it helps you recover from the hits. Like I said, I don't try and defend myself. I react to the hits and I put myself back together ASAP. I use it as a tool to develop and get stronger. And what you do is, because you're not emanating the fear of the uncertainty of being able to recover, alright? Because you're fearful of your inability to handle shit, I'm not emanating that energy, alright? Just think of that subtlety for psychic defense. You learn the mechanisms to heal yourself, or you have the allies and the people that you can turn to. Like I said with Lily Hayes. Lily Hayes was the one I turned to about this hit, alright? Took me a month or two, and I contacted her and I just said, look, and I confided in her that Andrew took all the money, alright? Do you know how fucking dumb that is? A dumb move? But that's the perception of people. They just like, he couldn't fucking do that. He wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do that to the ally. So their whole questioning of loyalty and shit, it's because I've been violated so massively, alright? And the only answer is to disconnect. I gave him 2 months. And what happened, alright? This is the interesting thing, and this is where I acknowledge Michelle Hibbert's integrity and all that, because what happened was, as I said, she was a client, she had a relationship with the Galactic History team. The fucking negative shit told to her about me, about all this, is just staggering. It's absolutely diabolical, alright? So that tried to destroy her and plant a seed of division in her, because it was obfuscating the fact that Andrew took all the money and got fucking caught, alright? Because what the Galactic History 2 thing was a choice. I allowed him to do what he wanted to do with the money. And like I said, the awakening for me back in 2008 was to not choose the money, because there's greater potential on the other side of it if you don't choose the money. So everyone out there that has the potential to fuck someone over, alright? Our ancient future selves see it. Earth records, it goes into there, alright? In the future, when like millions of years from now, we're all tuning back into ourselves, what we do now, and we've always done. So just because you can get away with it now doesn't mean you'll always get away with it, alright? So that's why I'm doing this in an honor to everyone out there, to give you the data to tune into. You can project whatever you want to me, alright? I don't care. I've done the Galactic Special Forces level where I almost saved Earth from a fucking invasion, alright? If you can't believe that, the reason why I released the Galactic Special Forces recordings is for you to tune in and perceive that there's been bigger stuff going on, and maybe I was in a role with Andrew to fucking make sure that he didn't get fucking destroyed, alright? But in the end, he destroyed me, alright? Because I see that as a compromise, and all the potential that money was meant to go to and do is all being prevented, and that's the karma that's been accrued for that. And people that, it's like the gold and the conquistadors, which I saw, the gold fever energy and stuff. The money encapsulates the consequence, alright? So you tune into what you think and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, this is quite long and it's quite involved, and there's a lot of information here, and you're welcome to tune in and get healing or whatever you want from it. I do this in dedication to Michelle Hibbert and all the bullshit she went through because of associated with me. I apologize for having to disconnect, but like I said with Mandy Lynn, alright, and Special Forces, sometimes they put you into deserts or forests and you've got to fend for yourself. As a part of the Galactic Special Forces level of require, you need to be able to be self-sufficient no matter what. You need to hold your integrity true and know the answer. You can't default to anyone, because like I said, you give people epitome of perception and default into them, that leaves you massively vulnerable to influence, and then you can be manipulated, alright? So you need to trust your gut and not even rely on me, because your integrity is better than me on many levels, alright? I'm offering that because I'm focused on all the multi-dimensional, the future potentials and all that, and I'm trying to negate them all the time, alright? So thank you, Michelle. Have an amazing birthday. Thank you for being in my life and all of the lives that you benefit here in Adelaide and the people I know that are seeing the truth of who you are now. I'm very glad to probably embarrass you by saying this, but let the world know how amazing you are. You were the one that allowed Galactic History 2 and the solution for fucking Andrew and all that potential that isn't realized now to be birthed, and you bought that right to be in that mystical experience and stuff. Just recognize that, you know, you weren't physically up to it and stuff, and I'd told you a lot of stuff before and you don't hearing, and you're hearing what you wanted to hear and stuff like that. But keep going. The person that you are that I met last night compared to the year ago, it's fucking amazing. And humanity and Earth are going to be much better off for you to continue being and develop at that level. And thank you for listening, anyone that has gotten through this. I hope you've gotten something from it and you tune in to my integrity and you see what's happened. It's data, it's been done. We've got to move forward and keep going on. I am who I am. I don't allow people that choose money over me into my lives. I walk away, and I walk away not bitter or anything like that, just disappointed because I fucking have to reinvent everything after I created a solution for everything, alright? So good luck, guys. Keep hanging there. Who knows? This video is just like, fuck it. You know, I've never done a video like that. This is an opportunity to share and stuff like that. So you can tune into me and listen to my voice and see me for once, because I don't put myself out there and stuff like that. But hang in there, guys. My perception of what's going on in November. Alright, this is a quick thing. November, I was telling my mate it's time to load up on stocks. The reality is seeding to be put back together. And what's going to happen is the COVID virus and all that sort of stuff, we're going to be looking back in 10 years' time of the missed opportunities we had and stuff like that. So like I said, with the money and the potential and the grid work and the machines, that's definitely a contributor to what is going to happen now. Alright. So good luck, guys. Hang in there. If you're after healing and stuff, Infinite Potential Healing's going crazy and everyone's been, you know, benefiting well and stuff like that. So if you want to explore that and your potential and what you can do, like I said with that girl, I saved her life and we basically ejected a species from the universe that were very negative. You've got debt in your body that is an asset, alright? The negative karma that's been done to you, and we can play with that. So good luck, guys. See you around. I'm just going to add a quick appendix to what I've sort of released and said there. Got only a couple minutes to do it. Basically what part of the vision of Galactic History 2 was what to do with the money as well. So I'll say that because I use that for the discernment process. Alright, I allowed Andrew to do whatever he did. Alright, and what he would do would give me the discernment to work out what was going on. Alright, so Earth wanted him to have the first 25%, because like I said, last 10 months were very bad. Alright, what happened, I was there to help him. I was loyal, sticking through him. I was doing all the admin, all the emails related to the clients and stuff, to organize the bookings and that. Even though he pays for people to do that, I didn't take the money for it. I left that, what he was owing me relative to the video work that hadn't been paid and stuff like that. Then the second 25% was for me, alright, to do all the missions and all that sort of stuff. Earth wanted it done. I'm loyal to Earth. I'm loyal to the womb chakra. Whatever it does, I will do the best I can in any scenario. Like I said, I stuck with him through all that bullshit, and I created a solution to resolve it all financially. Alright, then the last 50% was to go to the business. Alright, so he could afford to pay me the videos and all that were owed, that haven't been cleared up and all that sort of stuff. So that was the pattern, and if he did that, it would have been a beacon to a massive audience out there that we can't even comprehend, or enormous abundance and stuff like that. On about the 30th of April, when I was still dealing with the shit and had been hit, he couldn't perceive me and all that sort of stuff. So one thing I've got is amazing camouflage now, so either he's not tuning in or he can't read me at all. And he wanted to get onto creating Galactic History 3.0. It was like, you fucking kidding me? You haven't even paid me for that. You've taken all the money. You've screwed me over. You've done nothing. I did all the work like I do all the time. And then you want to get onto another thing because you made a lot of money from what I've done and you didn't even value me. Alright? So it was like, you're fucking kidding me. So what I did with the money and what I said Earth did and what he did I gave him an opportunity to prove himself. And what he did was take it all for himself and give me $3,000 and didn't give a shit. You know, done what he's done and stuff, and clearing up Michelle has been a massive effort because she couldn't believe someone would do that fucking thing who has that status, alright? And it's just, I said to her, look, you know, you can't give people a pedestal of perception because you default to them, you're vulnerable and you get influenced, and that's what I said. So take this as you will, discern me, cast me out, I've been destroyed, I saved the fucking earth from an invasion after, and I've done all the other Galactic Special Forces mission, I put all those people back together and stuff like that. So you choose by your actions. What I've done is I've separated because there's an audience that isn't looking for that frequency. So good luck, guys. Cheers. But the truth is revealed in actions, not what people say, in action. I don't get into the drama sort of bullshit about people, but what people do when they're involved in fallout is they usually create a false narrative around the people that they've fucked over and stuff like that. But my focus has always been in loyalty to Earth and doing the grid work and the Galactic Special Forces level missions. The whole reason I came into Andrew was during some shows in early May, June that I did with him, Natalie and Steve Travesty. In one of the breaks he told me that some of the work that we've done, there was a backup through Europe that required disconnecting from the Vatican energy harvest. So if you've listened to the Galactic Special Forces recordings, part 2 was related to removing over 700,000 sacrificed children's souls from under the Vatican, alright? What that was the blood related to the, that negative soul capture was related to the blood that was put on the post office. So you see mailboxes, they're red and stuff like that around the world. Every time an indigenous local reality was taken over and the indigenous were either genocide or to move on to reservations or worse, a post was put on there and the blood was related to the cursed blood from these children's souls, alright? That's how the false grid has been laid over the world. So we were doing the foundational removal of the work, so I'm very, very aware of a high level of stuff. And the only reason I do this work is my loyalty to Earth. In 2013 I did ancestral karma clearance with Nikki Tetsi, which totally cleared me of all the negative karma and all that sort of stuff, right? So I did a lot of foundational work to do that, and in order to do that level work and be ready for it in 24/7, you have to have a huge level of integrity, alright? That's why Earth gave me the vision to create Galactic History 2, to create the money that we would be all okay. And the money, in part, that I would get would go to do these missions.